What's going on, everybody? This is James Grandmaster Facts Boyce, and this is another episode of the Facts Project. Today, very special guest, Quintin Dorsey, creator of Knights of Abyss, Volume 1, and now in Kickstarter, Volume 2. Thank you for being here, brother.
Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate you having me, man. It's Q, writing, creating Knights of Abyss, and it's an honor to be on here. So I appreciate you having me, bro.
I appreciate you, man, because if to actually like to get into it, I've known about Knights of Abyss for a very long time, and the process in making this, as far as social media is concerned, and as far as like the ability and the time that you took to push this out, a lot of people don't understand that story because understandably so, they'll come up with a concept and an idea, and maybe within 6 months time they're ready to push out their comic. You actually took a very long approach in putting this together. If you could talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. So when it comes to not just getting on social media, like I spent my undergrad and graduate school studies like writing a story. So it really took me about like 8 to 10 years to even like got to a point where I was like, all right, the story is where I wanted to be, or it's good enough, because I still do rewrites even to this day. And I was like, all right, let me get online and let me see what's going on with some of these artists. But like, you ask my dad, like he'll tell you, because he always jokes to me, like, when you ever gonna put out that the greatest story never told, because I'm writing it for all these years. But with my approach with I guess like presenting it on Instagram, I wanted to introduce the characters first, and like how people's reactions were to it first. So if you follow me from the beginning, I used to just do memes before I really had characters. Like I would just do like comedy or whatever. And then when I was like, all right, I started making a transition. I just started doing like character bios for like each of the characters in the story. And I was just gauging people's reaction and seeing how they gravitated towards certain characters. And then after that, I just did I pretty much went with one artist for that main set, and then I went with what I call like the A or S class artist for the second set. But the thing is, since when I gave the S class or A class artists those designs that are pretty much already done, they just put their spin on it, and it just came out like really, really, really good. So I think it helped with I guess for people who were just watching, they got to see the process, like that I was actually trying to put in like real work and effort into like presenting the world of KOA.
Yeah, that's kind of like how I saw it, because as far as those character designs, like every single one that you were putting out caught traction. Like immediately, like as far as like the character designs for Knight, the character designs for Hiroshi X, the character designs for Emperor Italist. Am I saying that correctly?
Attilis. Emperor Attilis.
Yeah, so like you saw these characters, and I'm like, man, all this shit looks dope. So like you almost like just basically through the art, you were wondering as to how this story was going to come together. And essentially the big part of it was like just reintroducing it to everybody. How big of a social media following through possibly just Instagram and Facebook did you attain before you actually like started putting this comic together?
Damn, I would say, it was like 20K. Following. Yeah, because it really was Corona, man. It was like, because I finished writing a KOA in 2019. And COVID happened 2020. So I'm like, damn, stuck in the house, the story's done. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't got no more excuses. Let me go for it. So I just hopped online. I started figuring out, I read a book on like how to beat the Instagram algorithm. It was written by these two Black guys who worked at Instagram. They released it in like, I think like 2018, 2017, something like that. So I read it, and I just started implementing all the strategies that they were saying in the book. And the shit worked. It just took off. And people started following it, and I was able to get a pretty decent following before I even was really working on on volume 1. So it's pretty much a year. I spent a year just marketing and promoting, basically. Yeah.
What would you
Um,
say was the reactions to the character designs that you were putting out?
Man, it was crazy, man. Like I dog, it was crazy because everybody, it seemed like people gravitated towards uh, certain characters. Like Hiroshi X was the one that went viral though. Like Hiroshi X was the one that went viral. That shit went crazy. Like, yeah, Hiroshi X went crazy. That's when people was DMing me. And yeah, but everybody liked a lot of the characters, but it was Hiroshi X that took everything. And you know what's
Mhm.
crazy? When I was writing that character, I was like, man, he gonna be the most popular character. 'Cause I was like, yo, this is a cool character. So I kind
Okay.
of knew that. Yeah,
Yeah. You kind of get that, like, cause
yeah,
like he's, I mean, as much as he is a protagonist in the book, like
yeah,
he looks intimidating.
yeah. Nah, he's official. I mean, the inspiration behind it clearly, Hiroshi X to play on Malcolm X.
Mm.
And the group that he leads, the organization X, they're playing on the Black Panther Party. So I, I can tell you are intellectual, so you're definitely a
Right.
historian. You know what I'm saying, so you know that the Black Panther Party for Self Defense was created after Malcolm was assassinated in '65.
Yeah.
So essentially, their entire philosophy was walking in the spirit of Malcolm. So you know, when I was creating the character and creating all this, I was like, damn, it would be cool to have like a ninja version of. Obviously, he's not Malcolm because it's a story, but he's walking in that spirit. And then organization X, they're a
Mhm.
group that's aimed to liberate all vulnerable people in like the world of abyss. So I just felt like that's something um that Black people in general can really relate to, because oftentimes it's like people act like it's a bad thing to talk about Malcolm. It used to be. Now it seems like it's getting more like people.
Yeah.
It's like, for I remember being in school, we ain't learn about Malcolm X. It was like, he
Mm.
was like the boogeyman or something. So, I do think I do. So a part of what I want to do is make sure that, we turn our heroes into heroes in that setting. So,
Got you. And for
yeah.
all this artwork that you put out, like what introduced you to the art style? Was there anybody specific that started working on your projects that stood
Yeah.
out and that you
Yeah.
still work with to this day?
Yeah. My boy Jacob Noble. Yeah. So I remember I hit up Jacob I want to say it was 2000 and yeah, it was 2019, the end of 2019. I hit him up and I just want to see how he would do my characters, because I just want to
Hmm.
see if it fit. And because I looked at his style and I was like, he has like an anime aesthetic type style. I was like,
Hmm.
that would work because that's what I'm going for. So I DM'd him, he hit me back. He did the first cover. He did the first cover that I actually used as like my launch pad, saying that like, all right, this is KOA and this is what I'm trying to do. And now if you go on my page, I swear it was 2020. I think it was December or January. It was either December or it was like January 2020. Like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, try to get this done. Bam. And that was it. And, and so he was supposed to have a bigger job.
Hmm.
So I'm like, damn. So I'm like, all right, bro, when do you think you're gonna be done? He's like, I won't be done until the fall. So I'm like, well, all right, well, I'll just promote and market all the way through into the fall. So the fall comes and he still was caught up with this other thing. So I'm like, damn. So I was in a really bad predicament, because I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, I got all these people that's like, yo, where's it at? And I'm like,
Right,
I'm over
right.
here. Yeah. So I ended up having to I worked with another artist, K Walk Six from South Korea.
Hmm.
And she was a great artist. And I was like, hey, do you think you could pick up the project? And she was like, yeah. So and then she put volume one together. But me and Jacob, we circled back, and now he's the one that's doing volume two right now. So
Got you.
yeah.
Got you. So what compelled you? Because volume one is pretty much two stories in one, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
guess that volume two is also the same way. What
Yeah.
compelled you to basically put this out almost as a graphic novel rather than
Yeah.
single 22 issue comic?
The feel. Like I don't really like the paperback feel.
Mm.
So when I was testing stuff out, I mean, I'm a comic reader too. So,
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't really like the feel. Then also I felt like you're not telling enough of the story. And I always wanted to tell enough of the story so I can keep people interested. So I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with something that's more, perfect bind, because and it just felt better, looked better. I could tell more of the story, so it just made more sense to me.
True, true. So to get into, let's get into volume 1 real quick.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
far as the synopsis of the story,
mhm,
Knight and his two parents, of course, are living on the island of Hope.
yeah,
All of a sudden, literally, disaster strikes immediately. They're sitting there at a
yeah,
village tournament,
yeah,
and all hell just breaks loose.
mhm,
So all this is like pretty much out of nowhere. This collective
yeah,
of like let's just say Emperor
yeah,
Attilus and his crew
yeah,
immediately just jump into action, and they're murking
yeah.
everything in sight.
Go crazy, yeah,
Right. So then like pretty much like Knight's parents pretty much act on to the fact of where, yo, we got to get Knight out of here.
yeah, yeah,
He don't want to leave his parents. Like is definitely a young rambunctious kid. He's pretty much on the verge of his 17th birthday. So
yeah,
like he's just hitting adolescence, and he hits the helicopter. His parents stayed behind,
yeah,
and they pretty much figure out the last thing that they have to do to make sure that like they're not being followed, that Knight can pretty much go on to live his life, is detonate the entire damn island.
yeah.
Why?
That's a good synopsis. Okay. Yeah. So basically you're right. So the story starts where, Knight is on the verge of 17th birthday, having a good time. And then this mysterious group known as the Collective invades,
Mm-hmm.
right? They're invading for a reason. I can't say why, but
Yeah.
remember, it's an ancient abyss island of hope. Now, if you remember it's like the first page, there's like a prophecy on there, and it alludes to someone called the Awakened One.
You know what? And at both times that I've read it, I've skipped past that part. I'm mad. Damn, so I missed that completely.
Yeah,
But pretty much, I mean, we're looking at Knight. Oh, and no, he was not having fun because he got beat up. He got knocked out like in the
he did. He
tournament.
did.
So like
Tasha got them hands. Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
you know what? I have a question.
yeah.
What is to become of Tasha? I mean,
Oh man.
you know what I'm saying? Because like
I mean, hey,
I saw a body, but I did not see a death blow.
You have a keen eye. Okay, okay. Well, volume 2 gets into what happened to Tasha. If Tasha's dead and she's alive,
Yeah.
maybe Knight isn't the only survivor.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
She could have made it out somehow, but no. But getting back to your initial question of like why they blew the island, a couple people did DM me asking me that, like, yo, why they blow the island? Why did they leave? It's like, well, there's a reason. Like if you when he says we can't let them, when his dad Alderon says we can't let him leave with it, he's alluding to something. There's something on the island that they can't allow him to leave with,
right?
Which you do find out what it is, or we get into that in volume 2. But yeah, there was a reason why they annihilated the entire island.
Yeah, because I come to realize that Emperor Attilus, when he first arrived on the island, he kept on saying target 1, target 2.
Yeah, yeah.
I noticed. Okay, I was thinking to myself, okay, target 1 more than likely has to be Knight.
Yeah, correct.
But he was like, when he was mentioning target 2, it didn't really allude to anything. I was thinking it was Natasha at first, but you know what I'm saying, that kind of like ended just in that one little split-second fight. So I was like, okay, what does this allude to? But to further beyond this question, as far as like, what is the East and West empires as it pertains to this story?
Yeah. So the East and West Abyss empires are the two, you could say, ruling empires of the story of Abyss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where Neo and Ruby are at, they're kind of like in the center, which is called like the Forgottens, or like the outskirts, right? So it's this idea where you have two warring empires who obviously are going to war with each other, and the people who are just caught in the middle and caught in the crossfire are always constantly just in a constant state of like peril. So so Emperor Attila, he rules the East of this empire.
Okay.
I can't say he rules the West, but we do get into that.
Okay.
Not yet, but yeah.
So I'm going to take it to say that at one point in time that there was like a civil war that divided both these empires.
I want to say a civil war, but it was something that happened. Something that happened that created I guess you could say, the paradigm of what's going on currently in the world.
Got you. Okay. So as far as, all right, so Knight's now on the helicopter.
Yeah.
He arrives. We do well for those of us that were looking at, we were like, okay, he's just pretty much going to end up where he's going to end up. And we get introduced to Ruby and Nail.
Mm-hmm.
Who are they?
So Ruby and Nail are war orphans. And where it stands at right now in the story, they basically are just taking care of a bunch of orphan children who are also war orphans. And they're dealing with a situation where there's a Power Inc. corporation that hoards all the medicine, all the food. So they're pretty much like Robin Hoods at this point in the story, where they're pretty much just surviving and trying to take care of their children. So at the end of volume 1, you see Knight quickly dispatches some folks who are running down on like an elderly guy. And Ruby sees him, and she sees an opportunity to use Knight to help with getting the resources, food and medicine.
Yeah, because I was almost compelled to like ask like where they all know each other, because when they saw Knight, it was like they were happy to see him.
Yeah,
even though probably they did not know what had just happened.
Yeah. Well, they don't know him, but in the story, volume 2, like you'll see how they get introduced and everything. So, but yeah. So pretty much, Ruby tries this. Ruby steals Knight's necklace and pretty much like blackmails him into helping her liberate some food and some medicine from Power Inc. basically. And then when they go back to the orphanage, then that's when he meets Nail, and then some things happen right there, and then you kind of move forward from there. So
okay, so the pretty much the head quote of this entire storyline is solving the mystery of the Night of Abyss. What do we think that like pretty much pertains to as far as solving the mystery of the Night of Abyss?
Now that's something I don't know if I can, because
that might be too much.
The Night of Abyss it's an ancient prophecy, but I can't really say too much more about what it is. But in volume 2, we do explain what's going on with Knight being the awakened one, and this Night of Abyss thing. We do get into that to a certain extent, but as far as like what it is, how they found out about the prophecy, what's going, I can't really say that. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So where does Organization X play into this, and why is Hiroshi X showing up now?
So Organization X and Hiroshi X are pretty much the folks who are like fighting the good fight prior to I guess Knight, Nail, and Ruby coming into the fold. Okay. As far as what their involvement is with stopping the prophecy, let's just say that they're the OGs of the story, right? And there's a couple more people who are fighting the good fight, and Knight was hidden away on that island for a reason. So it all comes full circle to why he was hidden away on that island, what's actually going on, and what's the next steps he have to take moving forward.
Okay, so is it safe to say that Hiroshi X and Emperor Attila have history?
Yes, they do know each other.
I would think
they know each other. Yes, they know each other. But there's another character that's not going to be revealed in this one. But if you saw a Milita Supreme, wait till you see her. and her involvement.
Got you. So, of course, looking at the concept of this book and seeing the cover pages and pretty much the inside covers and everything, if you could explain how anime has shaped your comic book writing and what you actually wanted people to see when they open up these pages.
Yeah. Oh man, anime is everything, man. Like I'm a huge fan of like just fantasy stuff in general. But you know, I would say growing up, we started watching like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like as a kid. Then it was like Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, Street Sharks, Dexter's Lab, whatever, man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So those are like the first earliest influences. And then my uncle, shout out to my uncle Benji, he introduced me and my brother to Ninja Scroll. We were kids. We didn't know what. So,
you know what? I was gonna say that this reminded me of that, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we like, what is this? And that was our first introduction into like anime. And it just blew our minds, like, because it was just so much better. Like, it was crazy. So then we just went down the rabbit hole with Dragon Ball Z, Code Geass, Fullmetal Alchemist, Death Note, Big O, G Gundam, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh yeah, man, you went down the rabbit hole.
Rurouni Kenshin, Ronin Warriors, man, everything. Like, so those were really the biggest influences. So when I was creating a story, I'm always writing it from a perspective of like how like anime stories are written. Like I always looked at anime as, I feel like with Marvel and DC, they're kind of trapped in a box to a certain extent. Like no one can be stronger than Superman, no one can be smarter than Batman, whatever. And it's like, it's kind of, I feel like they're trapped in anime. It's like you can create just these new stories that have nothing to do with any other universe that's completely free. And you can also touch on topics that you want to touch on. I feel like anime is a lot of like intellectual writing that comes from a lot of the good anime. Like Code Geass, to me, Code Geass is a very deep philosophical, like if you ever seen it, it's very deep. It's not like something that you gotta watch a few times to really catch a lot of stuff that they're talking about, and how they're doing it. So when I was writing my stuff, I was like, man, I want to make sure, you know, people can take something from it, they can grow from it, it'll make them think. And you know, I think that's one of the reasons why anime influenced me the most while I was creating KOAs, because it's something you can really learn from. You think about watching, it's like that made you think that you can break like any limits, because that's pretty much what Goku is. He's a limit breaker, right? So, and he also was like, man, you got to work hard for stuff, you know, because he didn't start out with just everything. So, you know, I would say, yeah, man. I think, you know, anime plays such a huge influence because it helped me in life. So when I was creating a story, I always wanted to make sure I'm doing something like in that spirit.
It's true. And I feel like a lot of, well, not to say a lot of creators are definitely going that route, and you can tell where the anime influence, especially from, I say, from the early 2000s on down, like where they've utilized that influence and putting it inside their books, has definitely helped and shaped them a ton as to how they're like moving forward. So how would you say, how much of the storyline has been written so far? You've done volume 1, you've done volume 2. Like how much further could this go?
Oh, story's done. It's like 3 seasons, about episodes. But yeah, the story's done. I still do rewrites. I rewrote season 1 like 3 times. I rewrote season 2 like twice. I'll probably rewrite season 3, or yeah, I probably will. But yeah, the story's done. I still go in and I make like little. For me, I'm big on like foreshadowing. I don't know how like all writers like Kishimoto from Naruto can literally write that shit every week and do all that foreshadowing. To me, that's like that's crazy. For me, I need to that's like an amazing talent. He might be a genius. Like I don't know how you do that, because he was writing like that story like just weekly.
Yeah,
and foreshadowing with all this stuff. That's crazy. So
yeah, he almost,
I just knew that didn't work for me.
Yeah, he writes in like
Huh?
time jumps almost. Like there's segments
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
story. There's like the main storyline, and then pretty much the
yeah,
precursor and the preludes that are all the flashbacks.
yeah, yeah. That's rough. I honestly that didn't work for me. So I'm like, I can't do that, bro. Like, my brain don't work like that. So I
Mhm.
was like, man, it helped that I was able to write like a season and write another season and then go back and add elements from season 2 and season 1, and just so it's like a real cohesive thing and stuff actually makes sense. Cause I caught myself reading some stuff and I was like, damn, this don't make no damn sense. I'm like, all right. So that's when I was like, yeah, let me make sure I finish the story, go back, do everything, so everything comes full circle. And that's yeah. So that's why it took me so long writing it. But yeah, yeah. Stories don't know.
Do you feel like there's a character in this storyline that's going to become a fan favorite that isn't necessarily the the lead in the story knight, or better yet, even the antagonist with Emperor Attillus? You feel like there's gonna be a personal a fan favorite that everybody that has been digging you about that nobody knows about?
Oh, that nobody knows about. Yeah, she's on the page. I think Karina,
I've seen it.
and
Yep.
yeah, I think Karina, and who caught somebody's eye, very, very interesting person's eye. I'll
Mhm.
tell you offline. I don't know if I can't expose who I, but
Well, it's funny because like I saw you recently post that the game basically put
yeah,
put Hiroshi X
yeah,
as his avatar
yeah,
on IG. I mean,
yeah,
bro,
that was wild.
to know that your story has gotten that far,
Yeah,
that your that one of your characters
mm,
is pretty much in a celebrity's avatar, that he's seen it and has
yeah,
loved it so much, he'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna just put this shit on my page. And the thing is, it's not even a post.
yeah,
It's his, it's there,
yeah, yeah,
regardless of what he posts.
yeah. Nah, facts, man. I mean, God is great, man. I do, I try to stay as spiritual as possible. I pray a lot, I meditate a lot, and I just try to put as much work as possible behind what I'm doing. So, whenever stuff like that happens, I'm definitely grateful. But I do, like I said, I do think that everything it is written. So,
Mhm.
but nah, it's definitely a blessing. And yeah, the crazy story. So he had DM me, like it was wild. Like
No shit.
Sunday, yeah, yeah. So he DM'd me on Monday. What was it? What was it yesterday? Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he DM'd me Monday. Um, and he was like, yo, this is fire or whatever. So I'm like, I'm waking up and I'm like, looking, I'm like, what? I'm like, hold up, who's this? I'm like, no way,
Mhm.
because I'm thinking it's like a fake page or whatever. So I'm like, oh shit, I was the game. So now we had a quick convo, but now he just told me he rock with what's going or whatever. But yeah, Hiroshi X was the most popular character
Oh.
that he liked. But there's another guy,
Mhm.
there's another dude, famous actor. Can't say who it is,
Okay.
but it was Karina's the one who caught his eye. So that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's more characters that I think are, or to me, my favorite character is Karina. It's between Karina and Milton Supreme. Like those are my favorite characters. But
Mm.
I think once you get to see more of the characters and see like their personalities and all that, I don't know. Some things might, but who knows? Everybody loves Hiroshi X. So
It's true. Like
yeah,
so now that it's the summer and it's basically con season, and
yeah,
not to say that we're completely out of the pandemic, but we're definitely more resolved to basically be out in public. Like, have you gotten a chance to be at the cons to basically push your book as much as possible and to actually go out there and play politician and shake some hands and kiss some babies to get your book
yeah.
out there to the public?
Yeah, yeah, man. I've been rocking and rolling since January. I've been already been like eight or nine. Yeah. So I've been everywhere, man. I was at Fan Expo. I did what was it, Galaxy Con. I just did Awesome Con. Did a few art shows. I did Geekdom. Man, I've been everywhere. I'm doing so I'll be at was it DreamCon
Yeah, down in Texas.
next, yeah, I'll be there next month. It's a Garden State Comic Fest, I think in Jersey.
Yep,
Okay. Are you in Jersey?
I'm in
Okay.
Jersey.
Oh shit! All right, we got a link. We got a link. All right, all right. And then I'll be in was it Otakon at the end of July, and Baltimore Comic Con, of course. That's right down the street
Yeah.
from me. Yeah, and I'm trying to get into Anime NYC.
Okay.
Yeah, but I doubt I'll get into the like New York Comic Cons. I know it's hard to get in there, but
Hey,
you know,
the one thing I can say about spots like New York Comic Con,
yeah,
being as how there's a big community of course Black indie comic book creators. One thing that they've done, if one of them gets a table, like if they've always like they've had the opportunity to link up with somebody that's like freshly starting out that wants to push their books. You want to share a table?
yeah.
They do that. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, I need
I,
that.
I've seen a couple cats like do that with a lot of cats. Just come on in, we'll share the table. You do your thing.
Yeah,
There's a lot of cats that do that. I mean, I'm sure since the pandemic, you've definitely have gotten to, because I feel like in 2020, a lot of indie comic book creators got a chance to meet firsthand because we were all at home, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and we were all networking, whether
yeah,
we were seeing each other or not. So generally, when the con started to open back up, it was like gangbusters. It was like, all right, cool, let's link.
yeah.
You know
Nah,
what I'm saying?
nah, bet, yeah. Nah, most definitely. Yeah, nah, I ran into a few guys at the cons. I ran into Delta Dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ran into him. Cool dude. I ran into Immortal Dark Manga.
Hmm.
Shout out to them. They got a Kickstarter, I think, coming tomorrow. So yeah, definitely shout out to them. Shit, I ran into Concrete Comics.
Yeah. Lonzo.
Yeah. So it's a few people. Can't remember everybody, but nah, I ran into a lot of people. Everybody's pretty cool too. So it's good
Definitely.
to link with other like creators and just, you know, I don't know, complain about artists and shit. So
Yeah. Yo.
kind of like everybody do. It's like everybody get together. We just all complain about the artists. Like, yeah, we
Oh
all
my
need to write a
God.
book.
Yeah, it's a communication process that not a lot of people are attained to. I mean, but the thing is, shout out to artists. We realize that, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
aside from
nah,
writing the
like,
story, they got a hard job on their hands. But one, because they're constantly being bickered at as to like how a character is supposed to look, how the
yeah,
background's supposed to look, how a setting's supposed to look. The panel's too big, the panel's too small, those type of deals. I feel for them.
yeah,
But it happens. So wait. So you're pretty much almost you're almost at your goal. I think what
yeah,
$125, 150, 105.
yeah. I think so. I be trying not to check it, bro, because that should be getting like stressful. Right?
You know what, man? Look, it happens. Look, I can tell you right
Yeah.
now. Look, you're at 9,895. So you're almost
Okay.
there.
Almost
You're
there.
at
All right.
literally like what, $105. You know, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
say congratulations in advance because you're pretty much gonna hit your goal with 15 days
Appreciate
left.
you.
Word.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
As far as the stories that you like to do outside of Night of Abyss
Yeah.
that you've always wanted to do, any genre,
Yeah.
what comes to mind?
I have another one written. It's I'm calling it a conscious comedy. It like walks in the spirit of the Boondocks.
Huh.
But it's like highly politically charged. The idea, because the Boondocks is pretty much like trying to raise the consciousness of people in like just a comedic like format or whatever, right?
Mhm.
So I'm pretty much doing something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people is going to receive it. So, and plus, I don't really want to get like I could even put it on Instagram because I'm pretty sure I would get shadow banned or reported or
Ah,
whatever. So
yeah.
I don't know if I'll put on Instagram. I think my goal is once I get KOA situated and I feel like I'm like a safe zone, then I was like, all right, I'll put it out.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Look,
think
look. I feel like with KOA, you basically had a great strategy in order to
yeah,
get a lot of people's eyes onto it.
yeah,
And it, not to say that like doing a conscious comedy would be directly far left from what you're currently doing, but
yeah,
they were like, damn, yo. I ain't expect that from him, but okay.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why I was like, man, I don't know. Maybe I should wait.
Look.
Yeah, I have a couple pages. I'll DM you the pages just to see what you think about it or whatever. But yeah, I gotta keep it under wraps. So but
You might
it is funny though. So
you might have to put that out with an alias to it. You know what I'm saying? So people be like, oh yeah, this is this comic coming. I don't know who did it. There's like his name is Quintin X. You know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to give yourself an alias so they know it's not you, and then you just reveal yourself. It was me the whole time. It was like,
you know what?
you know what I'm saying?
That might be a good idea. I might have to try that. Yeah,
Word.
it's funny.
So, brother, I appreciate you doing this with me.
Sure.
Definitely for anybody out there that has not seen your work in the past and wants to get their hands on Knights of Abyss, what would they have to do?
My Shopify store is on the IG page. Actually no, because I got the Kickstarter link up. Yeah, just DM me. But after when the Kickstarter is over, the Shopify page will be back up. So
Okay.
Just click on the link and yeah, it'll be there. Or just Google Night of the Abyss. Some should pop up.
Got you.
Hopefully.
So from James Grandmaster Facts Boys, Quintin Dorsey from Knights of Abyss. Thank you for being here, brother. And we are out.